this video, I'm going to be microns and how lipopolysaccharides from gluten exposure or eating gluten can actually affect these chylomicrons. So basically, gluten is in your pizza, your baked goods, cookies, and etc. But okay, so the chylomicrons are shared carriers, carry and transport cholesterol, dietary fats, and fat-soluble vitamins such as A, D, E, and K. And when the diet is high in saturated fats, lipopolysaccharides from which are gram-negative bacteria can actually be incorporated into these.
TNF-Alpha is a key cytokine in immune activation. Antigen-presenting cells capture pathogens and present antigens to T cells, but Tregs suppress immune responses, weakening T cell activity. Hey, time to boost the immune system. Now Cs and T cells are fully activated. Immune defense is now at
splenic macrophages. Instead, they end up going into the chylomicrons, polysaccharides, or the negative bacteria. They hijack the. There is less available space for vitamins, the fat-soluble vitamins, to be able to take in the chylomicrons so that they can be distributed across tissues. If vitamin A and D are not taken up, that means a weak barrier integrity, weak mucosal layer, and no Treg differentiation. Vitamin D, if vitamin D is not taken up, vitamin D receptor is not going to be triggered or boosted because the vitamin D receptor needs a vitamin D to trigger it, and that means that vitamin D cannot go into the chromatin and to enable gene transcription factors for many things like let's say the immune system, lipopolysaccharides, and it's going to lead to immune system problems. Potential consequences is the gut barrier will be weakened, which means more lipopolysaccharides are going to come in and take up even more space on the chylomicrons, so that there is no space for the fat-soluble vitamins to be able to load up as cargo, because the original cargo of chylomicrons is supposed to be fat-soluble vitamins, not gram-negative bacteria. It does this other thing where saturated fats can lead to APC semi-mature or semi-maturation. It's actually beyond the scope of this video, but basically like the APCs, they don't, or the antigen-presenting cells, they don't train the T cells correctly. They're not taught the right thing, so they end up
TNF-Alpha is a cytokine that increases gut permeability. When elevated, it weakens the intestinal barrier. Gluten proteins trigger this response. Basically. Time to clean house. Pears contain compounds and lower TNF-alpha levels. With natural foods like pears, you can support gut health.
So basically, high saturated fat intake can cause lipopolysaccharides to drive inflammation, which will undermine immune regulation and barrier health. Now there are some interventions. One of my favorite ones is flaxseed meal. You can find these flaxseed meal crackers over at Aldi, which are really
gut
delicious.
Battlefield. Chylomicrons
I recommend you try those out.
Lipopolysaccharides are attacking. LPS competes with fat-soluble vitamins for absorption. Coconut monsters breach the gut barrier. LPS versus fat-soluble vitamins. Battle for survival. The war continues inside.
From immune cells. Also, flaxseed meal creates short-chain fatty acids from fiber fermentation, supports barrier function, which reduces endotoxin translocation, or in other words, reduces the polysaccharides of being able to float around. Basically, flaxseed it's a mucilage, and it binds to water in the gut. As a result of that binding of water, it promotes the slower absorption of lipopolysaccharides. The action of a flaxseed of binding to water in the gut, it reduces lipopolysaccharide mobility. Therefore, there is less lipopolysaccharides available to load onto the chylomicrons, which means that there will be more space for fat-soluble vitamins to be able to load up on the chylomicron.
Chylomicrons are fat transporters in your blood, but lipopolysaccharides are attacking them. These LPS monsters disrupt fat-soluble vitamins. Not today. Flaxseed meal contains lignans that bind LPS.
Okay, so
studies show flaxseed lowers LPS levels. Protect your chylomicrons with
estrogenic. That also means that that's going to help your magnesium levels. Magnesium transporters rely on estrogen to be able to function. So maybe lowering your estrogen might not be such a good idea. So with estrogen, the magnesium transporter works. Therefore, the magnesium can be used for a mitochondrial ATP, which your immune cells need to fight cancer on magnesium. Potassium deficiencies cannot be fixed without magnesium. There has to be magnesium. So also diabetics are typically deficient in potassium. So I suppose that lowering your estrogen could cause you to become diabetic. So also flaxseed also helps regulatory immune tone via IL-10 or interleukin-10, which is beyond the scope of this video. I'll cover that in a different video. Nuts that might be able to help in this context. First one is pistachios, which they have a less saturated fats. Pistachios have more unsaturated fats. So that means that your cell membranes will also be less rigid, because saturated fats make cell membranes more rigid. So if pistachios are making your cell membranes less rigid, that means that they'll be able to uptake fat-soluble vitamins. Instead of having rigid membranes, and vitamins are not getting into the cells, and you're also having lipopolysaccharides taking up space on chylomicrons that was supposed to be for those vitamins. Next is pectins. It's a strong antioxidant, dampens chronic low-grade inflammation. Next one is macadamia nuts. Mild anti-inflammatory, may slightly mitigate saturated fat-driven LPS effects. Macadamia nuts are also a good source of arginine for nitric oxide, which is good for the heart vessels, which have zinc and magnesium. Mild zinc helps Treg function. The PUFA favors a barrier repair in the gut, so the pumpkin seeds can help seal up your gut so that the lipopolysaccharides wouldn't leak out in the first place and take up the chylomicrons space. So sunflower seeds are also high in PUFA, so that will help.
Lipopolysaccharides reduce antigen presentation. Try this remedy.
From leaking out in the first place. Vitamin E for cell membranes.
Lipopolysaccharides lower antigen presentation.
Selenium supports antioxidant defenses and T cell tone, which is important for your immune system. So you got selenium boosting T cell tone. You also have magnesium from pumpkin seed creating ATP for energy for the T cells, because T cells need energy as well. If you have any of your own insights, leave them down in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.